All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I am here with another exciting time with none other than Jennifer Johnson. And you've got
What's up,
Regan and
Facebook?
Right, Monday morning. And you did your hair,
Woo-hoo.
front and back, Jen?
Yes, front and back. That was actually leftover from yesterday.
Wow. Well, I just did the back today, so I'm sorry you guys can't see it, but it looks amazing back there. I mean, it's, doing amazing stuff. I figured I'd do the opposite.
I love it.
But we're just excited, and part of today I want to get to know you more, and we loved your little interview questions. And part of She's Velvet Steel is just sharing about who we are. Like, I still have people asking me if I'm selling leggings. I'm not selling She's Velvet Steel leggings yet, but or the blue.
Who knows?
Steel.
You never say no, right? We can make up some leggings that have SBS all over them, and you never know.
Absolutely.
Definitely wasn't on purpose, though.
Right on my bottom, S, and then the V in the middle, and the S on the other side. It's big enough. I can fit the whole SBS on it.
Do you realize what you just said?
Oh, no. All right. It's Monday morning. Should we open this in prayer now? All right. So a little bit about you is you somehow had 5 children. I know that the majority of people want to know if all 4 of my kids are mine. And I must admit, the 4th was a surprise. I don't know if my husband roofied me. So I want to know how you did it with 5. We all do. And you still.
You want to know how I did it to get 5?
No, that might be
a different coffee date.
I know.
Sex with SBS right here.
Why is everybody tuning in right now? Are we getting some hearts for that? I follow.
Yeah. No, what's interesting is I grew up just always being fascinated by big families. I'd see them at Costco and I was like, oh, that's so fun. That looks so like chaotic and fun. And that sounds really neat. And then I'm a numbers girl. So I always had this like 2 or 4 thing happening. Like if I'm going to have kids, I want either 2 or 4.
Even numbers.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay, we had our 2 and we're like, it feels like, do you guys ever feel like there's somebody out there still? Like we're not done yet. And we just had this like ghost baby hanging around. We just knew we weren't done yet. So we went for 3. And of course you couldn't do 3. So then we went for 4 and there were 4 boys. And I was like, perfect. Tie a bow on that thing. We're going all boy. We're going to embrace it. We're going to drink it up. It's going to be all Legos, trucks, and guns. And, and I told my husband, all right, let's just get it. Put a stop to it. And a week before his surgery, we found out we were pregnant. So 5 was not the plan. But, we had a little girl at the end, which, I still consider myself a full boy mom. And I just have some little pink added in at the end. So it's a blessing.
So your 5th was a girl.
Yeah, 5th was a girl, and I didn't believe it. It was kind of funny. I didn't want to know because I didn't know finding out having a 5th boy inside me was going to throw me over the edge because I couldn't even handle what I had at the time.
Most people would just be a 5th child. It's the 5th child. Be like, you know what? I'm not even going to know. Maybe when it pops out, it's just like a stuffed animal. I don't even know.
A puppy. I don't know.
A puppy.
So actually my husband found out. He had the little gender reveal in an envelope and he found out before I did. And that was in his closet. And one day I couldn't resist and I snuck in there and I read it and I was like, yeah, right. You don't make girls. So even though I peeked into the envelope,
so you already saw it. Did you tell him that you like snuck in and saw what you were having?
Yeah, definitely. I never keep anything from my husband.
Anything. All right. Well, she will tell us how that's possible.
But no, so we never set out to have a big family and we do love it. And now my youngest is 8 and it is so fun. So like for all the women that are still in the potty training and diapers and breastfeeding, I actually calculated it. I nursed and
numbers girl.
I was pregnant. Yeah, I was pregnant and nursing for over 10 years. And it was it was exhausting. I remember going into church and the pastor saying something about how he thought young moms or moms of young kids were the hardest working. That's the only line he said, and I started bawling. So it's probably hormones or something, but I just remember feeling like I never get a break. It's always something. So, and I remember going to Costco one time, and this lady, I had a newborn in a sling. I had toddlers in the cart, and two toddlers in the cart, and two rambunctious, 4-year-olds hanging off the cart, 4 and 5-year-olds, eyes crossed, so sleep deprived. And this mom came up to me and said, "Oh man, it does. I wish I could tell you it gets better. You just wait till they get to high school." And so I vowed, whenever I see a new mom, to tell them, you know what, it gets better and better. You're going to get your body back. You're going to get your mind back. You're going to get your sleep back. You're going to get your husband back. It gets better and better. It just gets more richer and more fun. So.
Oh, well, I like the positive. I travel so much that I buy any mom that I see. I don't even know her. I just you know what, whatever she wants, I'm paying for it. Cause I just know
exactly
it's a dark, so all you new young moms out there, I feel like I'm still a little bit in the dark ages. I'm still getting kids peeing in their beds, that I have to wake up for. Cause my husband's become an amazing sleeper once we started having babies. I don't know. It's like, we're having an earthquake here and nothing wake that guy up. But before babies, it was like, it's always so horrible. So,
right.
So, all right. Well, now you're past the baby phase, sort of. Yeah. I mean, you're past it. Now you're on to the years. But one of the things that I just thought was, that you then kind of put is that you started your own business when you were 24 years old. So you obviously weren't having kids at 24, right? Or did
No,
you?
no, I didn't. Well, I think my first must have been when I was 25. We got married. I got married super young. So I met my husband when I was a senior in high school. And he had already been to college and back. And so I got married the month after I turned 19, which statistically, we shouldn't have worked out.
Yep. Listen, parents out there, this is a warning. Do not let your kids watch this. We are not encouraging young marriage. I will not let my girls watch this. Warning, warning. Don't endorse young marriages.
Oh, man. So we waited 7 years before we had kids. So yeah, starting my own business, my parents were school teachers, and I had never really been exposed to entrepreneurs. It wasn't something I was raised with. It wasn't something I was honestly ever exposed to. I just figured you went and got a job and you did your thing, and that's what you do. And it was probably, I worked for an accounting firm, and I had a review, and it was an old school, good old boys club, and I was very young. I was going for accounting here at the University of Montana and working, hearing what it was supposed to be like from the professor, but then living the realistic life, and that's a whole nother life. But, working in the accounting firm and having that review, he point blank told me, because you're young, because you're a woman, and because you're attractive, you're going to have to work harder to prove yourself here.
If you'd become a bikini model, that wouldn't be the same talk. All right. I'm just saying, you had 2 paths you took. You took the accounting. I'm just saying,
And I did do bikini modeling, Regan.
You didn't know
that, did you?
White skin to come back and I'll be all there. When it's white and loose, I'm gonna rock it. You'll see me on that cover of that magazine.
You waiting for the chalk skin to come in? So yeah, that review just that lit a fire in my belly. Wait a minute here. And at the time, I was already setting my own schedule. I was already meeting with my own clients, and I thought, I can do this. I'm not somebody that needs somebody else to motivate them. I'm pretty self-motivated. I'm pretty self-driven. I'd like to think I'm fairly disciplined when it comes to work and things. So I just thought, you know what?
Enough said.
I thought, why not try it for myself? Let me do the exact same thing they're paying me for. And that's kind of how I started my accounting business. And I loved it. I loved calling my own shots. I loved connecting with people. So yeah, that's that was the beginning of that fire inside, a little bit of that rebellious spirit combined with that independence, combined with probably quite a bit of stubbornness.
That's, yeah. So now we flash forward, you're 5 kids into it. You've had your own business for a while. You're married, still married. You know,
Still married.
you
Can you
do
believe
interviews
that?
in your car. I like how you're rolling. So you're just like the multitasker. And I mean, on top of that, you've got She's Velvet Steel that's going on. So what,
Right.
how would you describe She's Velvet Steel? Like, what do you think that is?
Oh
Like, what's,
gosh. Yeah, She's Velvet Steel. That's been really buried deep down in my heart for a couple of decades. Really around that same time that I started my business, um, I realized how many people lacked the confidence to make bold choices. And in their business, especially because I was dealing with a lot of, hey, my books are a mess. My attorney or my accountant is just, he needs stuff from me. And anyway, business owners, especially, that did not have the confidence to make bold choices in their business, and they ended up paying for it.
mm,
So that kind of started that. But then also motherhood, um, starting to have kids and having friendships before kids, and then having kids and realizing the friendships were affected by how we parented and how we saw things and the goals that we had for our children. And
a lot of judging people out there that don't
a
have kids.
lot, a
Yep.
lot of judging
I'm
people.
gonna call out my own sister that's kidless right now. You know who you are, Lindsay Kelly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and it's difficult because I was one of those people that said, when I have kids, I'm not going to do it that way, and when I have kids, my house isn't going to look that way.
Mm.
And I, to a degree, it's true. There are some things that I will not put up with that I knew I wasn't going to put up with. But with She's Velvet Steel, I really I got into network marketing, which opened my eyes to personal development and really exposed me to groups of women that I saw had so much potential, but I saw so many roadblocks in their way.
Mm.
Um, and personally, I would go to mommy groups. I would, my kids would want play dates, and I'd be like, if you have a play date, that means I have to sit around with the mom and listen to them complain about their husband and complain. And I don't want that. And I
Mm.
found myself never fitting in. I never fit in with the mommy groups. I homeschooled my kids for 6 years. I never fit in with the homeschool group. I never fit into the women's Bible studies. And I always had to check my heart to make sure, is this a rebellious this? Like, are you setting yourself apart, like in a bad way, like a negative way? Or is this actually where God's setting you apart for a reason? And what are those reasons why you don't fit in? And just never feeling like people understood, like, hey, I love Jesus, but maybe I want to have a margarita. Or,
Mm.
yeah, I have boys and I want them to safe, but gosh, be safe. But if they want to go turn the water on their trampoline and be crazy boys, then go for it. There's just all these social situations where I just found myself, I cannot be the only one that loves to work, but wants to be a mom too. So I tried all those extremes of like, okay, I'm going to be Susie homemaker and, be a full-time mom and homeschool mom and just do everything and be everything for everybody, because if you can put your mind to it, anything you want to do, you can do it.
Was this a year that you were on drugs too? I just want to know, was this like right before rehab? Listen, nobody thinks
Well,
like that. I'm just letting you know. I've got 4 and I don't think like that. So, all right. So
well,
keep going.
it's just one of those things where you kind of, I think at some point you have to test out, like, who am I? What kind of mom do I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I fit in? Because I don't like to cook, and I would always feel guilty about that. I've since made full circle, and I do love to make a good meal, because now that that I've grown boys that are teenagers that have hollow legs, I see the way to their heart is through food. So I've actually gone full circle with that part. But there's just so many things of like, um, I don't want to put all the kids first and have my marriage dissolve. And, I
Mm.
want to make out with my husband and, have dates with my husband. Um, and I want my kids to be independent, and I don't want to be needed by my kids. Like, I don't want them to, I never could understand that attachment of, being needed by my kids. I wanted them, and my mom raised me that way too, of just, be independent and have confidence in yourself and all that stuff. So that's a really roundabout way. Going back to She's Velvet Steel, I think the heart of it, when Jamie called me, the heart of it was, she really loves teaching, and I love leading. I love everything leadership, because I see people could go so much further in their life. They could be lifting the lid in so many areas of their life if they had certain tools, if they had kind of their mind and their eyes open to certain things. And so when Jamie called me and she said, "This is what I'm thinking of," I knew. I was like, "Of course you are," because that's been hidden in my heart forever. And just the overcoming things and surviving through things, and not just surviving through it, but actually thriving through it. So we all feel like there's this place that we're supposed to arrive, but we never arrive. And if we could come alongside and actually not judge other women, but empower them and show them, like, 10 years ago, I could have easily ruined my marriage by all these routes, all these different identities I was trying to pursue. I want to teach that woman who I was 10 years ago. I want to save her some pain and heartache. And I know that I'm way better together. And the minute I start believing my own crap, God will he pulls the rug out from under you where you're flat on your face. Yeah. That's why James 4:10 is just our rock that we cling to, because, man, if you don't humble yourself, it's a nasty, ugly thing. So SVS is it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so neat to see a community of women that are building each other up, and we see where they could be. And maybe they just need an army behind them to show them, look, we've been there, we've done that, we've thought that, we get you. We totally get you. And this is how it could be.
I love that. And I love that the first thing you guys did to start out was, instead of softballing it, how, don't worry, the baby phase will end. We're all here together. I love how you literally probably went into, I feel like, one of the hardest topics we deal with, comparison. It was oh, all right, people. Well, I want you, that's our timer. We're trying to keep this to, just to let you know, we're going to be doing these longer. But Jen, before we wrap up, I want you to give us 2 minutes comparison, why you chose that as the issues for SVS, the She's Velvet Steel, to really put out there, to try to say, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're trying to do. You got 2 minutes.
Oh gosh, 2 minutes. Sure. So obviously, you guys, we have so much we want to share with you. But comparison is one of those things that I've experienced it. So anything that we talk about with She's Velvet Steel, we've been through, and we've almost been destroyed by it. So anything that we cover, comparison is just the little tiny beginning of all the things that we have. But comparison really stuck out because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So you could be comparing. A lot of times what you see is women comparing to other women. And I've been faced with that, where I run into other women and I size them up. I find out where I fit in that. Am I lower than them? Am I higher than them? Do they have their stuff together? Or gosh, do I have my stuff so together compared to them? Either way, nobody wins. But what happens is it could potentially rob you of some friendships that God had planned for you. And with the marriage, I've got a husband that is the most tender man, and he's got so many gifts and so much potential. And by comparing him to other people, or comparing other marriages to our marriage, I could potentially completely rob God of everything he wants to do in that marriage. And my job as a woman, as a wife, to lift up my husband in the strengths that he has. So if your marriage falls apart, your kids are going to be affected by it. So look, all these things are connected to each other. And comparison I see it in business. Oh, their business is succeeding. Can I be happy for other women? Can I truly rejoice with other women when things are going good for them? Can I hurt with them when they're hurting? So when we see ourselves the way God sees us, it totally frees us up to say, I don't need to compare with somebody else, because I'm I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. And She's Velvet Steel is all about freedom, and that freedom of just being you and finding out what God created you to be, and then just running after that with boldness, because you're not trying to fit into something you're not.
I love it. I love it. She's Velvet Steel. Freedom. Freedom episode, ladies. Freedom from comparison.
I can't do hashtag with one hand. Hashtag
freedom.
Oh, freedom. What was that?
Oh, all right. So on that note, we can also
long enough.
Feel free. This is the end of our coffee talk, but we're going to be checking comments. So if Jen brought up, there's so many things, honestly, that I would have dug into her with her. So feel free. We're checking the comments. We're replying to you. Come to our page, She's Velvet Steel. Those of you, invite your friends. This is a great time to just be like, let's form our own community, the community of women that's a little bit different, that's like actually out there to support each other and to go for the positive. So have a great day, a good Monday. Hit that drive-through. I know you're sitting outside McDonald's. Just don't want Jamie to know, but I love it.
Hey. I just pulled here. I will leave you with this. I had to go to a parent meeting for driver's ed. And I looked at my 15-year-old. I said, I got to get out of here. And you know what I got?
They mastered the eye roll by 15. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
All right.
So thanks for having me, Regan.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.